Sadhu sir, thank you for taking out your time, and today we're going to have an interview regarding law and criminality for our Global Perspectives project. So firstly, we would like to ask, what are your qualifications and your expertise regarding criminal law?
Thank you very much for coming, and it's good to have interaction with all of you, and it's encouraging if you have come here. And whatever I can help, I will definitely help for your course. What is my qualification? I have done my law graduation from City University London, and then thereafter I completed my bar vocational course, which is called BVC, and I have been practicing here in Pakistan for the last about 20 years as a barrister at law. Prior to that, I have done my master in history from Kabul University. So it's a combination of history and law. So for the last I started my career in March 2004. So it's about 20 years. And in the coming March, I'll be practicing law for the last about 20 years. So apart from my private practice, I have been a public prosecutor for a while, where I dealt the criminal matters on behalf of state in the government of Punjab in prosecution department, and I have also dealt different cases, including criminal cases, in my private practice. And presently, as you can see while sitting in this office, I'm representing government of Pakistan, federal government, being an additional Attorney General for Pakistan.
Sir, have you ever dealt with a specific case concerning the economy and crime in Pakistan?
Yes, I've done a number of cases wherein tax-related matters were involved. There is a law called Anti-Money Laundering Act 2010 that specifically deals with respect to the economy and crime. As its name suggests itself, anti-money laundering. So apart from money laundering, I have dealt different cases under the provision of National Accountability Ordinance, where mega corruption cases with respect to different government organizations were filed by the prosecution, by the NAB, against different government departments. So I do conducted different cases relating to economy and crime. What else you want to know?
I think that's pretty much it. We'll be moving on to the next question.
If you want any specific question, I can answer that. But if you have asked, yes, have I done any cases? Yes, I've done different
Have
cases.
you recently done a case relating to economy and crime?
Recently, so since August 2022, I have been performing my duties as an additional Attorney General. So while being the State Counsel, I have been dealing different cases on behalf of the government, but not particularly in High Court. But in the past, I have dealt.
Sir, what do you believe is the correlation of economy and crime rates?
That's a very pertinent question with respect to the criminality. I would definitely believe that there is a strong relationship between economy and the crime. If there is a good economy, then it is normally considered there will be a less crime rate. There are other factors which give rise to crime, but one of the main factor could be said the bad economy, which is fear of poverty, fear of not having proper bread, uh, not proper food, and stuff like other things. You cannot fulfill the basic responsibilities by providing shelters, by providing food to your family, uh, and sometimes it is not only the basic, but sometimes the people want to have a luxury life and they do not have sufficient funds, so they try to snatch the wealth of somebody else by plundering banks or stuff, other things, just to get enriched and spend a luxurious life without putting their effort to do any positive work and earning from that. So through the world, it do have a relationship. If apart from the economy, retribution is also important. If the peoples are properly punished in accordance with law in a speedy justice, the crime rate can be controlled. Uh, but you cannot completely vanish the criminality. You can see in the wealthiest country like in Europe and other America, uh, their economy is not very bad, but despite that you can see and witness crime rate. And likewise in Middle East country, especially Saudi Arabia, there you will see punishment is very hard and very severe. But despite that, you cannot rule out there will be no criminality. So, which all these factors suggest that economy is not the only factor, but it can be described as one of the major factors which give rise to the criminalities.
Well said, sir. Do you believe Pakistan's current economic crisis is the major reason behind the fluctuation of the crime rates?
As I give answer in the previous question, it is one of the factor, but there are other multiple factors. The bad economy of Pakistan, which we are facing nowadays, I would tend to agree with that. It has a contribution with respect to the criminality. It's criminality in the sense of, as I mentioned, plundering, stealing somebody's wealth, somebody's property, so they can use it for their own purposes, or they can sell it and enjoy the benefit of this world by using that wealth. So I would say not 100%, but it has a considerable share in the criminality.
So exactly as we were saying, that economy is not the major reasons. There's others as well.
Yeah, it can be as little as deep-rooted enmity between families, which creates ignorance, hence increases crime rates.
Yes. And it's important to have a strict punishment, like Saudi has really strict punishment. And so, like, even if in Europe they have a stable economy, they don't give strict punishments, which causes high crime rates.
Yeah, inflation is another factor.
From your past experience, are crime rates in Pakistan increasing, and what other factors that influence it?
This is also very good and pertinent question. It depends if you where you are living. For example, if you are living in a bit civilized city, you will feel that crime rate is comparatively less as compared to other region of Pakistan. So if you take as a whole, I would say yes, crime rate is increasing because population is increasing, because people are not being properly educated, and tolerance is not being inculcated in their minds and in their ideas, and number of other factors can be, as we have just spoken, the enmity is one of the factor, deep-rooted enmity. If somebody punish or somebody kills a member of another family, then uh, the person who has been killed, his or her family take revenge, and then there is a series of crime which continue, and I, as I said, not proper punishment and not speedy justice is could be the reason. That is why crime is not being properly controlled. If the people get speedy justice and the culprit get their punishment according to their severity of the crime, it can decrease the crime rate.
Apart from genuine criminals, do you believe that wrongfully convicted criminals make up a large percentage of criminals in Pakistan?
And by wrongfully convicted, we mean that sometimes they're just sent without doing any criminal activities.
Yes, there are certain instances when the proper person who is actually committed the crime is not booked in the case. There are example when there is a false complaint just to take revenge from somebody, to book him in a false case, and they create false evidence in the form of documentary evidence and oral evidence. So there are some cases where wrongful people are convicted, but I would not say it is completely I would not say that there is not even a few person who has been wrongly convicted, but I would definitely say the ratio of wrongly convicted person is very low as compared to the actual person. So if somebody has been wrongly if somebody has been wrongly nominated in any case, there are meager chances that there is sufficient evidence that he will be ultimately convicted by a court of law. I do not completely rule out such conviction, but ratio is very low.
It's good to hear.
Go. Sorry for taking a lot of time, but this is the last part of the interview. In your opinion, how effective are the authorities in handling these crimes in Pakistan?
This is a very good question. Throughout the world, it is the agencies who are ultimately responsible to tackle and handle the crime. Other factors are there, but ultimate responsibility falls upon the state agencies to handle this crime. So in Pakistan, the relevant agency, which is the police, does not have a good track record, I would say, because if they properly conduct investigation, only the relevant, the actual person will be booked, or whereas due to severe lapse during the course of investigation, give benefit to the accused when the case is tried in a court of law. Due to collection of bad evidence or no evidence, the accused ultimately get cleared and they are acquitted. Then they feel encouraged. We have done this crime and the state agencies are unable to convict them, to give them a punishment through a process So they feel if we have done any crime, we have done the crime, and ultimately after a certain process we are out of that crime, and so they will feel that we will again do this, and we will one way or the other way manage in the law enforcement agencies, and proper collection of evidence will not be obtained by the law enforcement agency, and ultimately would not be a good case for conviction. So in a nutshell, state agency has a very crucial role, but I'm sorry to say that it is not being played up to the marks as it ought to have been. So we need to uplift the role of state agencies. Different studies has been carried out in this respect, and we need to plug the gaps, loophole while conducting investigation. So yes, agencies are to some extent responsible, but at the same time I must appreciate the role of agencies to the extent that it is because of their presence there is no lawlessness. Had there been no agencies, there you would see lawlessness. There are some fear to some extent of the law enforcement agencies. That is why our society is functional and operative. But lot is need to be done. I hope I have answered your question.
Not that effective, how can they further take actions to them? Or what have they
We
already
need to improve the working of the law enforcement agencies. There are number of issues. They do not have proper resources. They are not being given proper training in accordance with the latest white collar crime and up to date technology. They are not being equipped. So we need to provide them the latest technology in terms of providing the latest operators, and plus we need to give them proper training how to conduct investigation in an expeditious manner and in a impartial manner. We have to also reduce the in terms of exposure of the law enforcement agency to the general public, where they one way or the another way they try to get manage the law enforcement agency by using different tactics. So there should be a less exposure of law enforcement agencies who are conducting investigation.
Thank you for your time. We
Thank you, sir.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. Thank you. I hope I have tried to answer your question. There might be some areas which need further clarification or further answer. That can be answered once you have any further queries.